Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Almost Fama. I'm your host, Just Fama. I hope you're all doing great out there. I'm psyched to bring you this new episode. I'm talking with the man who created his own sound and has influenced many people in the hard rock and metal world. Without any further ado, here's my chat with guitarist of Fear Factory and Asesino, Dino Cazares. Dino Cazares of Fear Factory and Asesino. How are you?
Good to see you.
It's great to see you.
Fama, but my last name is Cazares, or you can say Cazares.
Cazares.
So there's different ways of saying it. I hear a lot of people say it's Cazares.
What does it mean?
It means hunter.
Does it really?
We like to hunt.
Hunter. So now I'm going to call you Dino Hunter.
Sure.
I'm just kidding.
Sure. I don't have a problem with that.
People are like, what?
You ever heard of
think
that?
you're wrong.
It comes from the word cazadores, which is like hunter as well. So
Oh,
it comes
okay.
from that word.
That's cool.
So.
My last name means fame.
Well, I like to say fama,
I
not
know.
fame. Fama. Yeah, but you can't sing the word want a fama, don't you want? That doesn't sound right. So you go want a fama, don't you want a fama?
All right. Well, I suppose
That
I
one
never
sounds
ran into
better.
that problem before.
That one
though.
sounds better.
If we're going with the Fanta song, I agree. But only with that.
Okay. I think I'll be the only one that gets to say that, okay?
All right. For everybody out there,
Thank you.
No taking that from
Thank
Dino.
you.
All right, Dino, but for real, for serious, you are such an innovator. You have created your own sound. When you play guitar, people know it's you. How did you get there? Like, how did you kind of form getting into that? I mean, that's amazing. You know, you've paved the way.
It kind of started just from, honestly, I was like, I was doing bands before, local bands, and I was in a band called the Douche Lords.
Were you really?
Yeah, we were kind of like a funny band, like SOD. I don't know if you ever heard of SOD. There's Stormtroopers of Death, Scotty and Billy Milano, Charlie Bonte, Dan Licker. Anyways, they put a record called Speak English or Die, and they were like a crossover band between like kind of like a hardcore punk meets thrash metal. And so I had a band called the Douche Lords, and we were kind of a spoof off of that, and we were just doing like thrash, funny thrash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can
you remember any lyrics?
So I don't want to sing them. I don't want to sing them. They're bad.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so from there, I was like, got into grindcore, and I was playing in some grindcore bands. And I was like, this is not for me. I want to do something that's a little bit more than that. I want to have a singer that can sing and do heavy shit and blah, blah, blah. And when I first heard Metallica, the song One, I don't remember what year it was, 88, 87, whatever it was. I think it was 88. They had the middle part where it goes, where the guitars and the kick drums were syncopated together. And I was like, wow, I wish they would do more of that. So I'm like, my next band I start, I'm going to do like a whole record like that.
Wow.
And so, and then I started getting into industrial music. Industrial music, they sample a lot of music. They sample guitar riffs. They sample stuff from movies. They sample just noises, and they loop them, and they make them into songs. Early Ministry, early Nine Inch Nails, and Kraftwerk, and a bazillion industrial bands. And I was like, wow. I was like, I want to like sync the guitars with the kick drums, and in other words, the guitar and kick drums doing the same pattern, and loop it, but play it that way, and make it sound like it's a machine. Because I got really into sci-fi movies, Terminator, Blade Runner, and so all those different elements kind of is what kind of shaped me to play the certain style on the guitar. Because back then I didn't really have a lot of money to afford hush units or samplers or anything to create this kind of loop effect. So I would stop the guitar with my palm. So I would go trrrr, and I would stop it with my palm. So I just developed a style where I was like stop, start, and then just the rhythm patterns, and then the kick drums doing the same thing I was doing, and then it just kind of developed into a style, and that's how it went.
And just evolved from there.
Yeah, just evolved from there. Exactly.
Did you know that you were going to be making your own sound?
I wanted to try my hardest to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that I've definitely created a distinguishable sound that people know that when they hear it, it's me, no matter what band or whatever CD I guest appear on. People can always say, hey, it sounds like you, that's you.
Yeah, it is you. It's your own signature. It's really cool that you get to have that.
I mean, I've kind of, in some ways, like with my other band, Divine Heresy, the music was a lot more faster, a lot more extreme. There's a lot more riffs in it. There's guitar solos. And that's different from what I do in Fear Factory. But the only thing that's very similar is that we always had melodic vocals with heavy vocals.
Right.
And always had that certain type of rhythm with the guitar and the kick drums and the drums in general just followed the guitar.
Yeah.
Everything that it did. So it definitely created a style that, I believe people were directly influenced or subconsciously influenced by it. Same thing with the vocal style, Burton's vocal style. The heavy verses and melodic choruses became like a staple in music. I mean, in this metal genre, and like everybody's done it from emo-core to deathcore, even death metal to metalcore to commercial. Yes,
100%. Yeah,
exactly.
It just become the way.
It just became something that was acceptable.
Yeah,
and so people were like, oh wow,
And now it's kind of like commonplace.
It's been that way for a while now. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say to a kid who is just picking up a guitar for the first time? What advice would you give to them?
I would be like, if you first picked up a guitar, you got to really, the number one thing is follow your heart. If that's really what you want to do and you know it, then there's nothing I can tell him that's really going to change his mind. You know what I mean? Because if he really wants to do it, then, I can say, do it this way. No, I want to do it my way. That means, wow, he really wants to do it. You know what I mean? That's how I was when I was a kid. I first picked up the acoustic guitar, and my dad was like, hey, well, you got to get into sports. I'm like, no. You got to play baseball. I mean, I love baseball, too. But I was like, I didn't want to practice baseball. I wanted to practice guitar. So, it was a push and pull with my father all the time. So
when did he finally go, okay, you were right?
He never did. It was till years later. When I first brought him our gold record, he was proud.
Gotcha. I bet you he was proud of you before then. He just didn't tell you.
Well, he wanted me to follow in his footsteps.
Yeah.
He was a pro baseball player in Mexico, and he wanted me to become that. And I understood that, but I was like, I needed to get out and do my own thing and become my own person.
Create your own legacy.
And that was like, and I looked at my dad, and I was like, well, if you didn't have that guitar laying around, I would never picked it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's your fault.
Right? See, I like that. I like that you turned it on him like that. He was probably like, yeah, you're right. All right. So people know you from Fear Factory mostly, but you're in Asesino as well, and they have a huge following. I want to know how that band got started with you, Emilio, and Tony.
Well, I started a band actually before Fear Factory, a band called Brujeria. And we were Mexican / death metal / political punk, political lyrics, whether it's drug politics or, politics in general when it came to, presidents, mayors, governors, border patrol. We sang about all kinds of stuff, the indigenous people. And that was a whole different vibe. So that was the band I started before Fear. One of the bands that we actually put records out. We put out 3 records. And then from Fear Factory. And then after Fear Factory, years later, when I was, I actually was out of Fear Factory in 2001. And I was like, okay, well, I got more time for my other band, Brujeria. 2002, I'm sorry. I got more time for my other band, Brujeria. We did tours. And I was like, well, maybe I should do my own solo record based off the character of a band called Brujeria. And so my character name was called Asesino, which means assassin. And the assassin was, he took care of people, people who owed the boss money. He took care of them.
Hold on, I have to go back for a second. So you're assassin and hunter.
Yes. Well, an assassin has to go, when he assassinates people,
he has to hunt them first.
He investigates them. He hunts them. He finds out their routine. He finds out their routine.
Getting to know a little bit about you now, Dino.
Yeah. So he finds out everything about them and so on and so on. So we did our first record in Asesino, and it was called Tales of Death, and it pretty much just described what he did.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then obviously from there in 2004, I started working on my other band called Divine Heresy. Mm-hmm. And then we put out 2 records, 2007, and in 2010, we put out records, Bleed the Fifth and Shit, what's the name of the second record? Bring Your Flags. You forget some of these records sometimes.
Well, you've had a lot of records released.
Yes. So, and then that's it.
And
I mean, I've done a million other
but how
guest
do you
appearances and so on and so on.
How do you go and juggle? Because some of these bands you're playing basically simultaneously, like Asesino played a few times when Fear Factory was out. So how do you juggle that? Like, how do you find the time to be able to practice both and differentiate them from your life?
It's hard, and it's hard. It's time consuming,
Yeah.
And then just like you said, my life, with my wife and so on, and just
shout out
doing
to
Jennifer, just doing normal things. You know what I mean? Spending time with her.
Yeah,
of course.
And Diablo.
I'm always on the road. Yeah, exactly. Of course, my dog Diablo. It's kind of hard, and then working with other bands too.
Yeah.
Like Dark Sun.
Yeah, shout out to Dark Sun.
It's very time consuming, and but you got to make it work. If that's your passion, that's what you want to do. You find time.
Yeah, and you also find the people in your life that accept those things that you do and support you as well.
Yes, of course. That was one of the reasons why I married Jennifer, because she understood. So even when we were first dating, I was already on tour. I was like, the first month we were dating, hi, nice to meet you. Great, we started a relationship, got to go. Exactly. You know what I mean? So she understood, and it worked out good.
Okay, so you've been in the industry, obviously, quite a few years now.
25 years.
25 years?
Yeah.
All right.
Roughly.
So what are some of the major differences for you, or one of the most major differences for you as an artist that you've noticed in the industry from the release of Soul of a New Machine to Genexus?
One is technology. Technology definitely plays a big part in our concept of what we wanted to sing about from the beginning. I mean, Fear Factory was anything that incites, creates fear.
Right.
Or manufactures fear. You know what I mean? Politics. You can talk about presidents. You can talk about racism. You could talk about conspiracy theories. You could talk about the evolution of technology, which was one of our main subjects.
Right.
And it wasn't necessarily just about technology. It was also about the people who created the technology and people who are abusing the technology as well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can get into, how music is pretty much free on the internet, and you can get into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How, our president can't stay off Twitter. I mean, who the fuck would think we would have a president that would tweet, conceptually of, how we started to where it is now.
Right.
I think I just said it all, the president tweeting.
Yeah.
That's,
instead of making a general message.
Most presidents I know just ignored that shit. Everybody making fun of them, they ignored it. Who cares if you get made him fun on Saturday Night Live? Well, obviously we have a president that does.
Right. Right.
You
and that's
I mean?
not something that should be worrying them at the
moment.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Who cares? It's parody, whatever.
Yeah.
People make fun of me all the time. All the time, trust me. I get it all the time. In this industry, or in the entertainment industry at all, or someone who's very well known in the public eye, you're going to have thick skin. If not, then you better go back to your mama, because that's
well, and I think you have to
pretty
know
much
too.
Just Fama and Mama, yeah.
I think you have to know too that most of these things come from fear or jealousy, anyways. So that's really why most people, I think, would say anything bad.
Correct. Or maybe it's just to constantly fucking bug the fuck out of people.
Maybe.
Harass and bug. You know what I mean?
That could be true. Then they have too much time on their hands. But
that
could be true.
Exactly. But that's one of the main things is definitely technology, how much it's changed.
Yeah.
How people listen to music.
Absolutely.
How people get music.
And how you tour now and everything like that is changing, and the way that bands are making money because of this technology. Money makes technology different.
Yes. But unfortunately, when you sign record contracts, there's certain things you got to give up.
Yeah.
So, in other words, if a band signs to Joe Schmo label and they put out a video on YouTube, and all of a sudden the YouTube video gets fucking 5 million hits, well, guess who gets the money from that YouTube video?
Well, it's not the band.
Not the band. Exactly. So so there's good things and bad things.
Yeah.
You know
absolutely.
what I mean? Sure. If you're getting 5 million views, that's pretty fucking big, right? But the bad part is you're not going to be getting any residuals from that. Correct.
Right. Absolutely.
And there are people who don't understand that, and there are people who do understand that. And there are people who made their living off YouTube.
Right.
A great living off YouTube. I mean, a perfect example, I hate to say their names, but the Kardashians. I mean, they're like,
oh my God, I know,
perfect
right?
example of social
Who
media.
Who would have thought someone like Kim Kardashian or a Paris Hilton would be the people that we'd be watching all the time because they're in your face.
Which
all the
I
time.
think is where Trump got influence from, to
Right.
tweet every 5 seconds.
Oh.
Maybe the Russians hacked his tweet and are tweeting for him. That could be it. That's another theory. Conspiracy theory there.
Technically, everything on the internet is hearsay. In court of law, it's all hearsay, right? So
Unless somebody said, I fucking said it. Yeah,
yeah,
what
that's
the fuck?
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to take a quick pause here so I can play a song from this amazing guitarist. Here's Fear Factory with What Will Become off of their album Digimortal.
change our own eternity.
All right, Dino, I want to play a game with you really quick. It's called Fama's Fave 5.
It's called Fama 5. Fama 5. Fama 5. Fama 5.
So 5 questions for you.
Okay.
Quick ones.
Okay.
What is your favorite movie from 2016?
That's going to be a hard question.
Come on, that's the easiest one on the list.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Me and Jennifer watch a lot of movies.
Okay, fair.
We do. I think one of the ones that really opened my eyes was the one
What was it about? Who was
Oceans Between Us. No. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's a documentary that he did about the global warming.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
It's a great movie.
I didn't see that one. I think it was called Oceans.
No, it's called Before the Storm.
Really?
I think so.
We're going to look
Look
this
it up.
We're going to look this up.
That was a great movie.
You
I think
look
that's
it
my
up, and
favorite movie.
We're going to move on.
I think that's probably my favorite
that's your
movie of
favorite.
this year because it
Okay.
really opened my eyes and it lists all the politicians that are getting paid by all these Exxon and all these other big multinational
Gotcha.
corporations to say that global warming doesn't exist. So, and that was something that really was like, wow, and it just really blew me away.
Yeah, did it affect your decision
Yeah.
in in voting if you did vote?
Oh, this came after.
Oh, okay.
Before the flood, it's called. Before the flood.
All right.
I think I just named every
Yeah.
every album. Before the morning, after the morning, Oceans Between Us. I think it was As I Lay Dying. It's called Before the
good.
Flood.
All right. Question 2.
And I even told Jennifer, like when we were watching, I go, I'm not going to remember that title because it sounds like all these other
It
bands.
sounds like band names.
Yeah.
Or their
Band names
album,
or- yeah,
their
exactly.
album titles. Question 2. Who is your favorite guitar player?
I have to say that it was the guy who influenced me to play rock, metal, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It was AC/DC. Angus Young was the guy who really, because I saw him on TV when I was like 9 or 10. I was like, fuck, look at this guy go. Like he was just headbanging the whole show, like not stopping. Later on I thought he was on crack the whole time, but that's just how he was. He was just an entertainer.
Yeah, nonstop.
And I was like, wow. And so that was probably one of my favorite guys because that was really made me want to do what I do.
That's awesome. I wouldn't have never guessed that, by
Yeah.
the way. Yeah.
Who would you think?
Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, there's a million to mention.
Yeah.
There's a million of them, but I'm going to go back to the one. I'm going to go back to the one that made me want to play.
Yeah,
this
most
music.
Influential. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I really like that answer. What's your favorite Fear Factory album?
All of them.
Come on, you must have
all
one
the
that's
ones
a
I was
little-
on. All the ones I was on.
That's fair, but you must have one that's just a little bit higher than the rest. Like I know they're like your children and all, but come on, everyone has a favorite. Everyone has a favorite.
Okay, I would have to say that. Let's talk about Demanufacture, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my favorite, but it's
Right out
the
there.
first one that really took Fear Factory to the next level. It's
Right.
the first one that got people to know who we were, and it's the first one where we started doing all these big tours.
Right.
It really opened the door for us. So that's probably some of my biggest memories was just that second album and just how much it changed the band, the level of the band,
Right.
the way we toured, and it just it was just the one that I felt the most proudest first.
Gotcha.
Does
Fair
that make
answer.
sense?
Yes, it does, sir. Thank you for answering.
I mean, because Soul of a New Machine, we were still insecure. We didn't know where we were going.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going to happen. The record was we had 17 songs on the first album, Soul of a New Machine. It was kind of really like a collection of all these songs and
It's all
riffs that
over
we had.
Yeah.
It's kind of all over the place, but maybe a little less focused. It wasn't until Demanufacture. I would say it's my favorite record for that reason.
And again, like you said, it's the one that really like got Fear Factory noticed and got you
Yes.
guys out there to do all these
Yes.
amazing things.
Yes.
So number 4 would be, what would be your favorite festival that you've played?
Wow. I'm going to have to say Dynamo Festival,
Oh,
which was in Holland, Eindhoven, Holland. And it's the first festival that we played, which is in 1994.
wow.
And we played with a bunch of bands. One of the biggest was Anthrax and a million other bands. And it was the first time I ever seen that many people at a festival. I don't know, there's like 50, 60,000,
Wow.
which it grew to be bigger than that.
Yeah. But for that,
But that was one of the first early ones. As when it got bigger, it was one of the first early ones, and we were on it. And we featured it on our DVD that we put out, the band Fear Factory DVD, where we did everything in chronological order from the first record all the way up to the last one that I was on. So, and that was like the first festival, and I just remember like the camera was in my face, they were filming me, and I was like, I'm not used to this, like get the camera out of my face, First time I ever experienced what they call a festival vibe, where it's like you throw and go. In other words, you just got to go up there, set up, and play.
Right.
Like there's no sound check, there's nothing, just go. It's the first time I ever did that, or experienced it,
Right.
And just seeing all those people stage diving and liking your music in that way, because before that we were playing smaller shows,
Yeah.
200 people, maybe less.
Yeah,
maybe
well,
a
to
little-
go from 200 to 50,000 is
yeah,
a pretty
it was,
big
it was
jump.
crazy. So that's probably one of my favorite festivals that we played.
Awesome.
But there's a million, like again,
Yeah.
there's a million of them. We can go on forever about festivals.
We'll get into that another day. But for now, question 5. I know that tacos are your number 1 favorite food. So I'm asking you, what's your second favorite food? What else do you eat besides tacos?
It's a toss up. It's a toss up between Indian food, Thai food, and Italian food.
Okay, nothing specific though, like pizza.
No.
Okay.
Actually, I don't really like pizza that much.
Oh,
I'll eat it.
Fair
I really
enough.
don't like it that much because when you're on tour,
yeah.
that's the only thing that's open late at night, and that's
Fair.
what people at the venue feed you, or and sometimes I don't like certain Italian foods because, again, the cheapest thing to feed people, one of the cheapest things, is
Yeah.
pizza and spaghetti.
Right. Because it is.
And
yeah.
most of them don't make spaghetti good. But when
Right.
I go to a good Italian restaurant, it's different.
Some spaghetti.
But I have to say, I don't know, man. Thai food, every country I go to has a certain type of food that I really love. Like when I go to England, they got great Indian food. Indian food up the ass.
Really?
Yes, a lot of Indians there.
I didn't know that. I've never been.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
So they got
I
great
just learned
Indian
something
food,
new.
great curries, chicken vindaloo, all that shit.
Gotcha.
And then, I love Thai food. I love a lot of Thai food. So I don't know, man. It's hard to choose.
All right. Well, I do
Besides-
know tacos are your number one. I do know that.
Well, Mexican food in general. It'd be burritos first and tacos.
Oh, so you should have said
So
tacos are your second.
it's
So
bur-
technically
burritos and tacos, but burrito would have to be first.
All right.
I would get a burrito before I got a taco, but it depends on where you're at. Here they don't have burritos, so I order tacos.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Famous Fave 5 was brought to you by GuitarClef.com. Need a cool gift idea for that musician who has all the equipment they need? Or that music lover in your life who has enough iTunes credits to last a century and not quite sure what to get them? Problem solved. Head over to GuitarClef.com and see for yourself. Now, back to my chat with Dino.
All right, couple more questions. Ibanez made your signature guitar. What is your favorite thing about your signature guitar?
It's got my name on it, and it's an Ibanez. No, it was made from my specs. Probably one of the main thing is, for me, is the neck, because the neck's super thin. On the back of the neck, it's how it's shaped. So the top of the neck to the bottom of the neck is the same width all the way down.
Oh, okay.
Most 99% guitars,
They get
the top is thinner and
Yeah.
then the bottom gets thicker,
yeah.
which sucks because for me I have small hands, so when it gets thicker, I have to bend my wrists.
Oh, they're not small.
There's compared to who?
I don't know.
Say it.
Well, compared to me,
Say
I
it.
guess.
Say it compared to who?
Compared to who? What do you
Trump!
mean?
He's got small hands.
Oh, does he? I don't know this. I don't look at Trump's hands.
You never see people make fun of his hands. Anyways, whatever. Anyways, so it's really the shape of the neck, because when you're playing 7-string, 8-string guitars, they're, like I said, they're huge, like baseball bats. So mine is the width from top to bottom is the same, and it's really thin, and so it's easy to get to certain frets of the guitar, especially when you go into the higher frets.
Gotcha.
So that's one of the main things. That's favorite thing, and then second is the pickup.
Oh, okay. What's different with your
But
pickup?
we can go into every spec of the guitar if you want.
Fair enough. No, I understand that, but I just want to know what about the pickup?
The pickup is a Seymour Duncan pickup, and it's called the Retribution, and it was a pickup that I helped design with Seymour Duncan.
Okay.
And it's got, because when you're playing more strings, the lower strings you get, it gets more muddy because you have to put bigger strings. There's more strings, so it gets more muddy, it gets more bassy. So you have to tighten the low end on the pickup. In other words, it cuts down some of the low end frequencies on the pickup, so your lower notes will come out better.
Gotcha.
You can distinguish them better.
I like that. See?
Yeah.
Your signature guitar for you. What's up with Dino for 2017? What's going on?
What's up with Dino for 2017?
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot in the works, I hear, so spread
Yes.
it. Tell us.
helping bands out as much as I can. Getting into write a new Asesino record, hopefully.
Nice.
And hopefully, complete the new Fear Factory record.
Awesome.
That's really what I want to do.
Do you have a name yet for it?
No.
I want to know how you guys come up with your names.
It comes in weird places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we have a record called The Industrialist, and I was watching a movie, a documentary about certain people who they call industrialists. And these are the guys who manufacture big industrial steel and
okay.
other types of big manufacturing companies like that. And they called these certain guys who start these companies industrialists. And I was like, fuck, that's perfect.
You're like, that's it. That's the name.
Yeah, so it comes in different
And no one vetoed it. You were like, that's it. We got
Yeah,
it.
Bert was into it right away. Just like the title Demanufacture, when I came up with that title, LA had a big earthquake, 1994, had a big earthquake, and there was a lot of things changing. We had Bush Sr., I think was in it. I think it was Bush Sr. was in office, and we had the Gulf War, Desert Storm they called it.
Oh, yeah.
We just saw there was like Rodney King riots. We just saw the destruction of Los Angeles.
Right.
And we just saw people just destroying the city.
Yeah.
So I thought, hey, manufacture. What's the opposite of manufacture? Oh, demanufacture. So I was like, perfect.
I love it.
So that's kind of like how it came about.
Well, next, when you guys do release one, I'm going to ask you how you came up with this one.
Which one?
Your newest one, yeah.
Newest one.
After you come up with it, I'm going to
find
find
out. And then Genexus, just out of thin air, I was like, Genexus sounds kind of cool. What does it mean? And I told Bert, I got this weird word, Genexus. What is like generation and nexus, and I don't know. Bert's like, I know what it means. I got it. I came up with a meaning for it. Like, it sounds good.
It sounds like a real word.
Genesis is the beginning
Yeah.
of time, and Nexus is the connection of things. So it's the beginning and the future connecting
And also,
as one. And
to me, I kind of looked at it as well. It's also the next generation after Generation X. It all kind of like, I don't know, Dino,
some
I
people
just
go,
came
is
up
that a
with my
hair
own.
product?
I just
Genexus, is that a hair product? Because I think there's something called Nexus.
Nexus,
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go. Is that a hair? Is that the next hair product? Genexus. That kind of fit for 2016.
I like it. Thank you, Dino. I'll let you go because I know you have to DJ tonight.
DJ, and I got my family out there. And
I know.
friends.
I kept you from Jen this whole time. I'm sorry.
She's like, oh my God. She's going to kick your ass.
No, she won't.
I'm only kidding.
Especially because we give her all the love
She's
and the
gonna-
shout outs
she's
and we
gonna
love
smother
her.
you.
I know. And I love it when she does. Thanks, Dino. And
Thank
we'll
you.
be talking again
Thank
soon.
you, Fama. I appreciate it.
I love
And,
it. The only man to get away with calling me
I
that.
want to
I'll allow
give
it.
shout out to everybody who's supported my career, whether it be Fear Factory, Asesino, Brujeria, Divine Heresy, or anything that I do, and I want to, give them a big shout out for that. And of course, all the media that gives me all the attention, whether it's bad or good.
Well, we love you, Dino. And if they give
Thank
you
you.
bad attention, I'm going to go kick them in the balls.
It's all good.
And that just about wraps up my show. I want to thank Dino so much for taking the time out to chat with me. Keep your ears open for the next Fear Factory and Asesino projects, and for Dino Side Adventures, you can go to dinocazares.com or to Facebook at Dino Cazares Music. I'm closing my show today with one from Asesino. This is Secuestro Nuestro. I'm Just Fama. Thank you so much for listening, you guys. Remember, choose your own adventure. Until next time.
Siento, ya no tengo remedio. Yeah.